Greetings, fellow humans. Bad Mark here with another transmission from Metre Keyboards, and today we're taking a look at another keyboard from MechLands. I recently reviewed the MechLands Vibe75, which is the 1800 model version of this one, and this one is their 75% in-house brand. MechLands is a vendor that carries a whole bunch of different brands, and they also have their own in-house brand, being the Vibe. So far, they have sent me the Vibe75 and the Vibe99, which I've also reviewed, and I'll put a link down below. So today we're taking a look at the 75% variant. From the little bit that I know about this one, it is a 3-mode keyboard, 75% compressed layout with a 3-key navigation column and a customizable screen, which we'll be taking a look at. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it and see what the Vibe75 has in store for us. Before taking a look at the keyboard, I always like to check out what's in the box. Looks like we've got a wire, switch and keycap puller. We've got a nicely braided USB-A to USB-C cable. We've got a quick start guide. They have the full manual on the website. This is the quick start guide that comes in several different languages. And we have a box. What could be in the box? What is this? Is this a knob I see? So it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, we can choose to have either a screen or a knob. I think that's quite interesting. And here we are with the MechLands Vibe75 in a black and red color. Now, the Vibe99 they sent me had a white base, and it did have a white USB cable. This one has more of a black base, and it has a black USB cable. So it's nice that they're including matching colors. But this one, I've got to say, has a lot more accents than the other. I mean, the other one had its flair and its own design language, but this one, I'm got to say, I like. The buttons have these angled, futuristic type switches for the mode. USB went back. It looks like it was on Bluetooth, so I think the battery is probably dead. But we have basically an aluminum outside frame that has some very, very cool design. I mean, that's like a cutout. And I bet some light comes out of there. But it goes almost all the way around. And it's even here on the screen, which, yep, we can pop the screen off, and we see we have 2 sets of pins. Obviously, we want to be careful not to bend those pins. But if for some reason we want to go with a knob, look, we have an up arrow. So it's going to go on that side. I'm going to make sure it's lined. Press down lightly. And now we have a knob. So if you want the aesthetic quality of a screen, you know, to add something cool or have your time, your information on there, well, then you can use the screen. If you want a knob because you prefer to have a way to turn the volume up or down, or you want to zoom, or you want to scroll up and down with a knob, then you can use a knob. But you have the choice. That is pretty cool. It does not appear that it has a spot for a switch, so there's no replacing it with a switch. But I think being as we've got plenty of other keys, we should be fine choosing between the screen and the knob. But right now for the review, I'm going to go ahead and stick with the screen so that we can go through the functionality of that. I want to make sure the pins are well aligned before pushing down. If you have to use any amount of force, then it's probably not in there the right way. But you want to see that it's the high angle goes towards the back of the screen. You don't want to flip it the other way around. So we have a very lovely 75%. Like I said, I love the design. I love the aluminum frame with the hex bolts. I love the colorway. It's not quite an evil dolch, but it's almost like a combination of it. It's got a little bit of dolch, a little bit of evil in it. I love the keycap color and the choices. So we definitely have an interesting design, and we have nice keycaps that appear to be double shot PBT. That's what they are. See what thickness they come in at. 1.4 millimeters. If I'm not mistaken, that's what the other keycaps were as well. I don't know if these keycaps are the same, but I've been seeing them on quite a few different brands. And I'm always just looking at the M's. I mean, it could be a couple of different manufacturers using the same font, but I wouldn't be surprised if they all came out of the same plant. They're decent keycaps. I would rate the Legends about an 8. I mean, they're not perfect, but there's no real big blemishes. There's just maybe some sizing issues with what the arrows are, but it's really something that, I mean, I've seen bad keycap sets, and these aren't bad keycaps. They're nice and thick. They sound pretty good. They don't have the broken edges down at the bottom that I've seen on some keycaps. So they're decent OEM keycaps. Now let's check out switch. All right, this is I do believe this is their cream mint switch from MechLands that was also loaded on the other keyboard. So we do have a south-facing PCB, as we did on the Vibe75. So we do see that we have the hi-fi layers with the PET plastic above the PCB and the IXPE foam above that. We have clip-in stabilizers, but let's check and see. Yeah, just like on the Vibe75, the tolerances are quite nice. They're on there well and secure. We find that we have the most minimal lubrication, but we have it inside of the stems and the wires and on the elbows. And just like on the Vibe75, we do not appear to have screw-in support stabilizer on the PCB. Thankfully, these stabilizers are about as good as you get for plate-mounted stabilizers because, I mean, they're not going anywhere, and there's no tick on these whatsoever. And there is a film above this. I'm not taking it off until I cut a film screen protector so that I can keep it clean, but that's why it's got the scuffs on it, if you can see. But right now, let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like plugged in. So we have the MechLands logo. We definitely need to sync the time because it's not 3524 and it's not 112040. That's definitely off, but so it looks like the function right arrow will take us through. We can set the effects, select the colors. So we want to go blue. That's more of a purple. That's a pink. White. Let's go with red. I can enter out using function where you can right or left through this. Looks like we can control the volume, the language, or go to the animation screen or the information screen. Yeah, it was set on Bluetooth mode, so it was not charged when it came in. Definitely like that in red. It makes that. I really like the red. The colorway on this is really nice, and it mixes so well with the case and the design. I mean, don't get me wrong. I could see some other sets on here that would work just fine. Anything that's got red in it, or black in it, or gray in it. But it's got a very I don't know if I would call this kind of futuristic, kind of steampunk. It makes my sci-fi sensibilities go like a fangirl. So we have a keyboard that just sounds amazing. I mean, what did they do? I mean, this is just a well-designed keyboard. Now, obviously it has flex, has that PC plate. That's why we get that nice distribution of light. It's got cherry keycaps, but we don't have any interference, that's for sure. We have a nice, crisp, clean stock sound. A nice looking keyboard, nice looking keycaps, nice set of features. Wow. No, I mean, I gotta say, this is for a not full-bodied aluminum. I mean, because it's a plastic keyboard with an aluminum frame, but it's substantial in weight. It doesn't flex whatsoever, obviously because of the aluminum frame. It has a very cool design. It has some, I mean, they're new to me switches, but they sound just fine, and I could use them because they're not, despite them being lighter than what I usually like, I can rest my fingers on the keys and they're not going down or depressing like they need enough force to actuate. So, I mean, it's a pretty good combination, I'd say. I would be happy if this was my first 75%, I would say. We do have a caps locks here. We have SCR, which I would think a screen print. And then we have a Windows lock light. Yeah, I'm not sure what the that's how we change colors with the keys. Hey, learn something new every day. Stick with red. Just the specs. Today we are taking a look at the MechLands Vibe75% 3 mode with both a screen and knob that are hot swappable. This is available in both a blue and a black colorway. It has an ABS plastic case with an aluminum frame, gasket mounted flex cut PC plate, and a south-facing hot swap PCB with hi-fi dampening layers. It is preloaded with MechLands Cream Mint linear switch, double shot PBT cherry keycaps. It has a battery capacity of 4,000 milliamp hours and comes weighing in at 925 grams. The chin of this keyboard sits at 22 millimeters from the typing surface, while the back sits at 33.5 millimeters, providing for a default typing angle of 8 degrees. Flipping down the first set of fold-out feet will raise the back up to 37 millimeters and change your angle of typing to 10 degrees. Flipping out the final set of feet will take the back up to 43 millimeters and change your angle of typing to 13 degrees. This keyboard MSRPs for $79.99 on MechLands website. Links below. One thing I completely failed to note is the pocket for the 2.4 is underneath the feet. I just did not think of it when I looked at the back, and it does have a nice aluminum weight here with the peelable sticker, which I'm going to leave on for right now. Make sure to protect and not damage it during production. But anyway, I'm honestly surprised at both of these keyboards. They're well built. They sound really well stocked. They are competitive, but I mean, looking at what's available in aluminum, though these do have touches that those aluminum keyboards may not have. You probably have to go into a higher price point to have, your choice of screen and or knob on a keyboard. You're going to go from the $100 mechanical keyboard range to the $200 to $300 mechanical aluminum keyboard range. So I do think that it's competitive. I could see it going on sale and getting this, maybe, with a discount, which they do appear to have if you sign up for the newsletter, and there's probably other ways. I don't have a discount code. If I get one, I will share it. But at $79.99, it's not a bad price because you're getting a keyboard that you can customize, again, whether it be, with the screen or the knob, whatever you like or whatever you feel like today. Maybe today you're just going to listen to music and punch out some code and you need to blast, Metallica. All right, or another day you're working on the clock and you got to, keep track of time, for billable hours. Whatever the case may be, you have that option. I mean, obviously, I would store this in either the white box or another box where you can ensure that it's not going to get damaged, or keep it at home, wherever it's going to be safe. when you're, whichever one's not in use. But thankfully, those are some pretty stiff pins. It's not going to really break off easy, but I wouldn't test it or attempt it. Anyway, I want to go ahead and take a look at the software. I'm going to guess that it's going to be very similar, but I want to switch out the knob and see if it gives me any ability to customize that and see. Maybe it has something that the other one didn't have, but let's take a look at the software. All right, so for the software, to download it, we just go to the footer on MechLands.com website and we type in Vibe75. It'll come up a link to either download the manual or the driver. Once we download the driver, Windows may throw up a not identified or doesn't want to be installed, but I have network-wide antivirus protection, so they haven't registered as a Windows verified publisher, and that's why that error comes up. So it's a pretty basic install. You can go ahead and launch it when you're done, and we come up to the top and function layer keys that we have. So now I do have the screen in there and it shows it on there, but I'm going to go ahead and unplug it real quick. Actually, I'm going to do a time sync real quick on the keyboard, and then I'm going to go back. I'm going to unplug it and I'm going to plug the knob back in. All right, I've got the knob plugged back in, but it still just shows as a screen. So I can confidently say there's no way to program it. It's just going to work as it's programmed to work, as a volume control and mute button. So we do have the top and the function layers as well as momentary. I'm going to go ahead and remap the delete key on my function layer to insert, because that's the way that I like to have it done. Now there is no save function on here. As soon as you make the change in the software, it seems to send it over to the keyboard. We do have a basic macro editor that allows us to create macros, then go through and edit them, and then we can bind them to either keys and or function key combinations. We have our lighting mode, which allows us to set it to either static or select one of the color effects that's already included in the keyboard. Or you can set it to a static color, which I've done in this case. I've just set it to red. Now we come to the screen section, and I'm going to go ahead and save the one that comes on here since it's a square screen. I did save the one off the Vibe99, but that was more of a portrait type screen. So I'm going to look through I don't really have too many square ones here. That one's cool. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. I'm going to go ahead and sync the time and upload to the keyboard. I do like that it shows me the percentage on the screen, both on my computer as well as on the keyboard screen. Once that's uploaded, we can go to the user lighting section where we can do our per key RGB and select the background color light that we want on behind every key on the keyboard. And we have real-time lighting, is where you can actually create your own light effects. I haven't really done much with that personally. And then you have music rhythm. You can select it to do certain effects based on the background music. Then we have our about screen. We change our language. We can have it start on computer startup. The key response time, level 2 has always worked for me, the amount of time before the keyboard goes to sleep. And we can reset the keyboard settings as they are right now. We can factory reset the keyboard to the way it was when we pulled it out of the box. And we have the ability to disable Windows, Alt F4, and Alt Tab. So all in all, we have a nice 75% with both a screen and a knob. The screen to go through again is just function right or left to either go to the GIF that you've uploaded, or just you can also upload. A lot of people have asked me, but yeah, you can either upload just a single image, like say you want a picture of your sweetheart on there, or maybe your furry baby at home, or you could do a GIF. Obviously, you want to find something that is going to match the dimensions. You may have to do some image manipulation, some screen grabbers or screen uploaders kind of take care of it for you. Some will stretch them out. I'd have to get into a whole how to make GIFs to kind of explain how to make GIFs, but there's plenty of them out there. Or like I said, you can just upload a picture of your own that's static, and you can go back and forth using the function right and left arrow keys to get to the information screen. And as is with many keyboards nowadays, unfortunately, and even some of the VIA only ones, I mean, it's what I primarily use it for. I very rarely will map the function layer to like zoom in and zoom out is what I'll map it to if it gives me the ability. But this, when plugged in, will just control your volume and work as a mute button on press. But I gotta say, all in all, I am very impressed with this keyboard. I personally have not seen another one that this copies. I mean, I have seen different keyboards with hot swap knobs, but not a hot swap knob screen, and in this style that I know of. But we got a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. Obviously, turning the screen off, which I believe that's in the manual. I believe there's a way to turn it off. My backspace goes through the so we go through the colors, get a red, all right. But like I said, you could download the manual and it goes through all the keys that are already mapped. But you do have basically those 2 extra layers or momentary on toggle layers. Should you want to remap some keys. Like I said, I did the function delete to insert mapping because that's how I can use it. I'm actually going to put this one in rotation. I have the Vibe75 in rotation. I've enjoyed using it so far. I know screens are more of an aesthetic thing. I get it, though I do like having the time, just right there. I mean, I have it on my screen. I have it on my wristwatch. I have it on my phone, but I don't know. Everything's about time nowadays, so having it right there, it's easy for me to see. I do hope that you guys enjoyed my review of the Vibe75. This is a very nice keyboard from MechLands.com, and like I said, I don't know how I didn't come across them because it's not like they haven't been around for a couple of years. But one of you guys commented and said, "Hey, will I review this one in particular?" And I was like, I didn't even know that existed. So I reached out to MechLands, and they sent me out both this one and the Vibe75 and the Vibe99. And I've actually enjoyed using the Vibe99. I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy using this one as well. Even with the plethora of aluminum keyboards that I have, there's still plastic keyboards that come along every once in a while. And I'm like, although, like I said, this one's got the aluminum frame. I've always been a fan of mixing materials and using different materials. So this one definitely has, in my opinion, a deeper sound profile right out of the box. So it's something that I enjoy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've made some clacky builds that I love just fine, but if I had to pick, I prefer the deeper, closer to my tone. Some say I have a deep voice, but now I'm going to get deeper. Anyway, I'm going to leave you guys with a stock sound test of the MechLands Vibe75. As always, if you have any questions, any comments, when I do come back to this, please let me know down in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer any and all comments as quickly as possible. I want to wish everybody out there on YouTube land an amazing rest of your day. And until the next transmission, keep calm and keyboard on.